Two polls I want to reference real quick before we dive into this thing. 82% of people on Jeff Gluck's poll said yesterday was a good race. I agree it was a great race. I sent a poll out that I want to hear you guys' feedback on. 6,000 people voted, and I said, do you care about the regular season championship battle? And 62% of fans said no.
And I think that's I don't want to call
it doesn't
out
do
race
anything for
fans.
the fan.
That's just not being informed enough about how important that regular season championship is, I think, because it's a big deal.
Do you care? Do they not care because their favorite driver isn't in the mix?
Probably.
Yeah,
I mean, but I truly think they don't care. You know, I mean, I think that they just think it's an afterthought when really it's not. You know, I don't think enough emphasis is placed on it from a media standpoint. You know what I mean? Like we talk about, oh, so-and-so's leading the regulars. That's a big deal. That's a 5-point difference, right, from first to second.
Yes.
You know, that's a big deal. That's 5 positions on the racetrack when it comes to a race in the playoffs, you know. And it breaks down. I forget what the breakdown is, but it's like 5. Is it 5 again from second to third?
No, it's 15 points to first,
10.
and then second points gets 10, third points gets 9, third place gets 9.
Okay.
Then it's 1 point on the flip down. But listen, we spend time on here talking about it because we know how important it is.
It's huge, man.
And we know that Martin Truex or William Byron at this point appear that one of them is going to get 5 more playoff points. That is massive. Like if our fans truly don't care about it, we're doing something wrong as a sport because this thing is super important. I mean, it's not home field advantage in the NFL playoffs, but it's pretty damn close.
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievably important.
It's a buffer.
So on that note, I can't remember who submitted this question, but we've obviously been in this playoffs format for quite a few years now. Knowing what it used to look like, knowing what the championship used to look like, what do you guys think? I mean,
I will always say, from a fan perspective, this is the best format we've ever had. From a true racer that I've grown up being a racer my whole life, my dad was a racer, you know, I would rather see a season-long, and I don't care if the guy wraps it up with 5 races left, you are the season-long champion. You know, Matt Kenseth kind of ruined that by just being ultra consistent one year and not winning a race and kicking everybody's. I think he didn't win a race and still had wrapped it up before we got to the final race. Obviously, that's not exciting. So, you know,
but
what we're
I'm going to play a rebuttal on I don't disagree with you, but I'm going to play devil's advocate. When you're saying Phoenix is going to be so exciting because we're going to have 4 guys going for the championship. Well, our TV ratings sure don't scream that they're super exciting.
And well, I don't know that doesn't have a lot to do with where we're having that race at. Because Jamie McMurray came on this podcast and said we haven't had a good race at Phoenix since 1989. So, you know, I just always.
So if that same championship, and I'm going to throw out something crazy, let's say it's at Daytona, you think our ratings are higher? We start the season Daytona 500, biggest ratings of the year.
Maybe you want to throw up already.
Will the second biggest ratings of the year be the Daytona season finale if we're there?
Yes, I think so. You know,
oh my gosh, I don't even want to think about being in that Final Four.
No.
It's
There's
just
no
bad.
way.
It's been bad enough. And
I think
your stomach's already upset. We don't need to make it
yeah,
worse.
we don't need to make you any worse.
I've been part of the Final Four of Phoenix and Homestead. I mean, you're still like, I can tell you this though. When you go to Phoenix, you know what you kind of have right in the beginning. You know how hard it's going to be. But at Homestead, you don't really. Man, there's so many ups and downs in that race, and I don't feel like
the point is, TJ, that people don't care there's a regular season championship, and the average quote fan, they don't tune in for Phoenix. I don't think.
To your point about Daytona, you have that race at Martinsville. It's the same thing. You know, I think Martinsville maybe more so because Daytona they're not going to. I mean, they're going to wreck, but they're not going to wreck each other. It's unlikely somebody's going to go in the corner and just run somebody over at Daytona. Martinsville, these guys could be fist fighting. You know, I think that place or just go ahead and hold it wide open on the wall.
I still think the best thing was
speaking
Homestead.
of fist fighting. Boy,
we
had some guys fired up
There were
yesterday.
some bad sons of
I don't ever recall a race at Pocono leaving with this many people mad at each other. It's like we were at a Martinsville or a plate race.
And it was across all the series. I saw Hocevar. He didn't make himself any friends on.
Hocevar's
Saturday.
here a week from today.
week from today. Yeah, we'll have to ask him about that. And listen, I think Carson.
Maybe he'll bring out a caution.
Carson obviously, Carson obviously has, I think, in my opinion, and it's part of the reason I think why he's coming on here, has taken a major step in maturity, and I think he's doing a much better job. And I think that Saturday he made a pretty big mistake, and
that's okay. That's racing,
and that's the thing. You have to, when you start. The problem is, it gets less and less accepted the further up the ladder you go.
Yes.
And
what did he say after it? I didn't see it.
I mean, I think he basically owned it afterwards. I didn't see the interview. I seen him and Parker were getting into it a little bit. But just, as you go up this ladder, you can't make these mistakes. And I heard some rumors this week that Carson may be skipping a step on the ladder coming up next year. But, if you're at that level, this can't happen.
Car get into a wreck?
This can't happen if you're at this level. So, I get it. He's doing all the right things. He's saying a lot of the right things. Ever since he got that Cup opportunity at Gateway, he's come out and said a lot of right things and has done a good job on the racetrack. And it's hard. It's hard to turn that off. You know what I mean? Like if he's a super aggressive driver, good kid. I don't think that he has any malicious intent when he makes these mistakes. I just think he's just tunnel vision going for it at the time, and this is something another learning moment from him where he's just got to realize. And it sounded to me like from people's reaction. I talked to Parker yesterday in the garage. Like he said, well, he knows he screwed up. Like he knows it wasn't like, he's out, go screw yourself or whatever. He knows he made a mistake, and it's just another step in having to do better next time.
Well, it'll be fun next week to have him on. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, we've been really tough on him in certain situations. We've praised him when praise was due. Shows a lot of balls to walk in here and get on this show because we're going to let it all hang out.
A lot of things from super late models to trucks to cup cars. I mean, he runs
You see him on Wednesday if you ever want to meet him. He's at Millbridge.
Oh God!
There it
Let's
is.
start the show.
Drink.